Okay, well, I'm speaking the truth that nobody wants to hear. Let me just tell you something that happens in the Oliver penitentiary system when they capitalize on mental health and make convicts do the dirty work of the righteous, law-abiding citizens. But guess what? I've seen just about every motherfucking law-abiding citizen speed, or throw something on the ground, or do some other stupid thing. But you want to know a real fucking crime? A crime against humanity is when you upper echelon righteous fuckers walk by a homeless person and you got a wad full of cash in your pocket. That's a crime against humanity. Because if you can't treat all humans humanely, you don't have a fucking chance of paying enough money in any church donation box to do anything good. And if you think you're doing good, pay more to the church. And ask yourself, how many boys are you going to let them rape? Put the Pope on a higher pedestal. Ask yourself, how is that working for the great North America? The North American dream. Ask yourself, how many of your national-born citizens are in financial trouble because they're fucking motivated by greed, power, and corruption, and righteousness? A shit ton. So what they do in all of our penitentiary system is use crystal meth with the technology from the Russians that, and they also use implant devices. So they actually get the convicts that are released to be their eyes and their ears on the ground. So there's a guy named Guermella in Kelowna. He lives in Kelowna, married to some woman that works at a library that I think she just got a 0.8 and falsely accused me of sexually assaulting her when I gave her a fist pump, which she met me halfway. But you see, that wasn't the thing that upset her. The thing that upset her was the fact that she hasn't seen her 16-year-old daughter for a month. And when I asked her, well, what is she doing? And she's on the streets and she's on drugs and they can't find her. And I said, yeah, well, what does she like to do? And she said, well, she likes to draw, she likes to create. And I said, well, we're all here to create. We all have a gift. We all have something that we're supposed to create and give to the world that adds value to other people's lives, but it's something that we love doing. And I said she probably didn't fit into the sheep creation socialization system of school, which is the greatest crime against humanity. Because let's ask ourselves this: how much time is spent talking about money and finances in the Canadian curriculum? Less than 20%. And what's the first question that is asked when a person graduates from high school or university, if they go that far? What's the first question that's usually asked? Oh, what do you do? And what does that refer to? It refers to, how do you make money? The righteous are gonna get their fucking ass kicked by the sinners that know sex and drugs are here to stay. And money makes the world go round for the fucking righteous that think their shit don't stink. So let's help those do good in the underground and clean up our society, because the cops aren't going to do it. Well, the dirty ones might. The government's definitely not going to do it. Well, the dirty ones might. And the church? Hey, you've been all going to the wrong church. Because the church is outside. The church is where you live. The church is a way of being. You want to act godlike or holy or whatever? Then you treat every other human that you see humanely. And you think of others before self. Not the Father above or me first. That's why a mother's unconditional love for an unborn child, whether that child's born with Down syndrome, handicapped, or what have you, is something that man doesn't have, because we're scared of the unknown, which is why we created time, which is why we're scared to pull our heads out of the sand and acknowledge for the first time in history that children born today in North America have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. Because they're likely going to die of a drug overdose or some crime-related incident or suicide. Because the kids can see the bullshit when their bike gets stolen, or when your house gets broken into, or when your stores get stolen. Because guess what? It's out of desperation, because you've been voting for governments, if you choose to vote, that has not done you justice. They used to make Canada a great place to live, and now they are the only thing that's holding us back. Free enterprise, and fuck the tax man, because you don't pay taxes on cocaine sales and hookers. But if you want to buy land and help me wash money, you can get a hold of me, and I'll help you wash money, create a blind trust for our future, and we'll clean up the planet at the same time. And we'll bring those that are grateful to be here to be here. And it ain't about working. How's that working 40 hours, 80 hours a week doing for you? How was that spending time with your family? You got a whole bunch of unraised little fucking hooligans. How about you realize that you're sitting on a breadbasket of wealth? And that wealth can work for you, so you can spend more time with your community, with your friends, with your family, and be a positive influence in a shit-fucked world that's always going to be that way. So we may as well just have a good time and acknowledge that sex is there because it's fun. Yeah, sure, it's there to procreate, but guess what? We're the only goddamn species that invented pornography. And then we also thought, hey, monogamy's a great fucking idea too. Pull your fucking heads out of your asses, and I do hope you all find a soulmate. I wish that my marriage hadn't failed, but I don't have a single regret. And I don't back down from nobody. I don't back down from a government that's gonna try and fucking blackmail me, that they've done to countless other individuals. I ain't backing down to gang life, because even gang members know they don't want their children to go into gangs. But that does not say that sex and drugs are going away. And you're supposed to bite the fucking apple. On the front page of the Bible, he said, I give you the fruit and seed of the tree, you dumb fucks. And then you read the rest of it and you're like, oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, and live by the fear of God, or you're going to hell. You stupid motherfuckers. Sorry about the bad words, because honestly, that's not the way I like to talk. But I haven't seen my kids for a long time, over a month, because of these righteous, white is right, pious sons of bitches that are the greatest cause of war in all of mankind's history. Are you religious, perhaps? Welcome to the Church of Now. A church that ain't a church, guided by Bibles that aren't yet written yet, because you have not finished writing the script of this movie, which is the screenplay of your life. And you have the opportunity to become a hero, a genius, a legend, and own land that pays for itself by sharing your skills and your strengths with the world that appreciates it and values it and realizes that we are a community, not a whole bunch of individual righteous silver spoon, spoiled, entitled, ungrateful wastes of life that are killing our planet, letting women continue to be smuggled around the globe, and sticking their head in the sand every time a kid dies from coming in contact with fentanyl, whether it was accidental, like in a school, which happened in Kelowna last year, 2 years ago, to a grade 3-year-old, or grade 3-year, or anybody. See, I died last week when I had my first exposure to fentanyl, and I guess it ain't my time to go. But it is my time to stand up and say, Canada, we got everything. And hey, if you've been judged, if you've made a mistake, if you're on the streets, if you've done drugs, if you've done alcohol, if you've had sex, or if you've done something out of wedlock, if you've made a mistake that somebody judged you by, you're family of mine. And I support you to become all that you can be, to not be limited by your past, to not be what those righteous, judgmental, condescending hypocrites say you are. You are a hero. You are a genius. You are a legend. And we have the power to change the world, not by going to war, by having a good goddamn time doing it. And I just hate to tell you, heaven's all kind of white and they got halos and these little clean prissy bitches that have wings or whatever. I don't know. I ain't never been to fucking heaven. But hell, from what I've heard, the drugs are better, the girls are hornier, and the music is louder. And that's just kind of what I think is a good fucking time. I'm getting a little bit older, so it's like now I like the blues and a little bit more jazz, and I'd actually prefer a conversation or some maybe high-end cocktails and talking about how we could actually help the world. And I want to help you. To do that, let's buy land and take the power away from the righteous that own, 97% of the wealth, that 3% of the population. Let's take that shit back and let's use sex and drugs in an appropriate and credible manner with transparency, honesty, and integrity. No women, no children, no innocent. And no bullshit, corruption, faggot, righteousness, and judgment. Welcome to the Church of Now. Yeah. Boom, shakalaka.